Hi, my name is Tina, and I was wondering if you needed some help with the Zoom chat. I have been observing over the last few days some of the stressors going on in the chat. I've heard people asking if we could quiet the Zoom chat, and it made me realize that maybe not everybody understands how the chat feature works. And if you're distracted by those comments or you find it hard to focus on the speaker, there is a solution. So what I'm going to do is give you 3 quick tips to help your viewing experience. I put together a very quick PowerPoint, so let's get through this as quick as we can. It's not very pretty. I wasn't worried about the pretty. I just wanted to be able to share with you the way that this worked. So let me take that off of the screen and move us along. So there are 2 ways to view chat. There's the chat preview, which is what you see here on the screen, and then there's the chat window, which is the same messages, but just aligned in a column fashion. It's its own separate little window. Now, the chat preview, which I've highlighted in yellow here to point out to you what I'm talking about, it's the one that very quickly comes up on your screen, and it is only up there for a few seconds. So you kind of miss it if it's going too fast, and it's usually shortened so it fits in a line or two. So it's truncated. It's not the complete message. So if you're that person that's only watching there, you might be putting messages in saying, hey, I need that link. What do I do? And there are people who are putting the links in there thinking, what just happened here? I just put that link up. So what you want to do instead is go to the chat window. So let me show you. If you click on the little bubble that I've circled there in the yellow, that chat bubble, when you click on it, will open the new window for you. And this is what the window looks like. So this is some examples of messages in the chat, and it's all in a column here. You can see all of the messages and all of the message. So it's not cut short. And then if you have the newer version, you can reply to the messages in the feed. And the way you know if you have the newer version or not is if you can see these little icons down here at the bottom and this jump to the first unread message, if your screen kind of looks like that, you've got the newer version. But if you were to put your mouse over a message, you should see this way to reply or a way to do an icon to it or emoticon. And then you can also scroll all the way up to the time that you entered the feed and all the way down. So you can go back and forth and you can find what people posted previously, and that's how you use that chat. Now, the chat window can be closed to get it out of your way. It can be resized, so you can use the line to minimize it. And whether you exit out or use the minimize, it's going to wait and just reopen when you press on the chat icon again. So if you don't want it in your way, just use one of those 2 and it stays out of the way for you. Or if you're trying to find what somebody wrote, or maybe you have a second screen and you're keeping it on that second screen, you can maximize it with the box and it will open to the full screen. And so then the messages will run all the way across your screen. So you can get like one message on a line and you can see lots of the messages. And of course you can scroll up and down within that. And then the other thing I wanted to share with you is that you can stop those annoying, in my mind, little Zoom chats from popping up in that preview area. So if there's a speaker on the screen you're trying to concentrate on, and there's a lot of people talking, I'm a former teacher. This is an example of kids talking in a classroom and then kids that get distracted easily, focusing only on the kids talking. And yet there are those of us that have brains that really need to focus to get in the trainings. So you have the control to shut down that by clicking this little upward arrow where I'm pointing to here that looks like a little carrot or the upward pointing arrow. When you click that, what's going to happen, and I know this is kind of a goofy thing, but I couldn't get it unless I used my camera here. But right down here, you're going to see a check mark and it's going to say show chat previews. If you uncheck that, it will stop putting them up there on the screen for you. And as a result, you will not have to watch the chat previews. Now, if you want to see what people are saying, maybe on the break, all you do is click on the chat bubble like we talked about, and it will open up the chat again, and you can use it that way, or you can put it on a second screen and just have the chats off of the speaker. So wonderful way to use the technology that we all love and know. The other thing is you can save the chats. So you go to the message that you have, the long column one that's in the window, and down towards the bottom where you type your message, I've highlighted it in a little bit of yellow here. It was really light, so it's kind of hard to see. But there are 3 dots. When you click on the 3 dots, it's going to be a drop down that says Save Chat, and it will save it to your hard drive. There's a folder dedicated to where your Zoom feeds go, and it'll go in there. The only thing I would recommend is that you don't worry about pressing that button a lot of times unless you have an issue with your Zoom crashing a lot, because it will save the chat from the beginning of the time you came in till the end. Although I have seen it sometimes kick you out with, it'll lose the chat when you go into a breakout. But if you're worried about that at all, just go into your Zoom folder, save it, and rename it. And then every time you press that save button, it will write you a new one. And so then you'll have kind of a series of them. But don't press the save button multiple times, because you'll just overwrite that one file unless you go in and do the naming part. And if you have questions, you can message me and I can send you that little bit about how to do it at the end there. But really, this will make your life so much easier. So I hope you enjoy. Have a great night.